Future's now, old man.
What it do? This is RJ Harvey busting out with the big numbers. Jose, what's up, man? How's it going, bud?
Eh, I'm doing great, RJ Harvey. It's nice to see you finally, hit the field and get some carries, get involved. It's good to see.
Man, that was wonderful. I felt really good about all that last night. Watching him get a touchdown, a receiving touchdown at that. He was getting a lot of work, almost got 100 yards total on the game. He looked good too, and he had a bunch of big runs that were called back on penalties too. So it was good to see. Hopefully, he can kind of take that momentum and kind of take it forward. But he wasn't one of the only rookie running backs that did anything. Um, I don't know, man. Were you excited about all the guys that popped off this week?
Yeah, man, it was nice to see. I mean, we talked about it last week, right? That how worried were we? Who were we worried about? And it was nice to see them, get Genti involved, right? Like we were wondering why were they not getting him involved in some of these other ways that they could. But yeah, overall, it was just a great performance for all the rookies. Basically, almost all of them finishing, inside RB2 range. So it's good for fantasy football because I think a lot of people were pretty upset. I think Woody Marks is probably the biggest surprise there, right? I think people saw that he was coming along, but it seems like maybe he's just taking the job outright. And D'Amico Ryan's coming out talking about, we want to see what can this guy handle. Those are great things. I mean, that team offense needs some injection. They need some playmakers. I think that helps CJ Stroud, and it definitely helps Nico Williams if they can have, um, some sort of running game. So I think he was the most surprising. Obviously, he's going to be the hottest waiver wire pickup guy. But yeah, man, how did you feel? Who did stood out the most to you?
Yeah, Genti. I mean, that was huge. It was kind of like a relief to see him, go as hard as he did. Three touchdowns? No, two touchdowns. He had 21 for 138 on the ground and a touchdown, and then he had two receptions for 17 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, Woody Marks did similar though. He had two touchdowns also. Not quite as big of a game yardage wise, but he was still kind of splitting the backfield with Nick Chubb. But I don't know how much longer that'll last. He looked a lot better than Nick Chubb out there on his last legs. Hampton, Hampton was another one for me, man. That was really nice to see. Um, it was good. I mean, he put up 128 yards on 12 carries, which is crazy. And he like, I don't know if you saw his angry run. It was only like an 18-yard run, but he was like pushing guys like 10 yards down the line. Harbaugh came down, just juiced with his clipboard. Like, yeah, he's coming out there. He's like, Toasty! He's peeking. He's peeking. He likes what he sees at Hampton, so it's good news. Yeah, and then I mean Judkins also, even Hendo started getting going a little bit. He had it wasn't crazy, a 31% rushing share, but he had a touchdown, 7 carries for 32 yards and 2 catches for 14 yards. He's probably the one I'm least excited about. It's still very clearly a timeshare there. After we saw 3 fumbles from um, his backfield mates in the previous game, they came out and were still involved. Antonio Gibson was a little bit less involved, and I think that's why we saw Hendo kind of increase a little bit. So hopefully he can kind of eat into that and then eventually take more so he can just get off going and he can be Hendo Genie getting crazy down the field. He can he can get that HOA loving Ramondre Stevenson out of the backfield and just take over.
Yeah, man, for sure. I think Hampton he's the type of player you just love to watch run, right? Like he has that breakaway speed, but he also has that like I'm gonna run you over if I need to, right? And those are just like the most exciting running backs, at least to me, right? Because no play is dead, right? If they get hit at the line of scrimmage, it doesn't mean it's a loss. And his dual threat, right? They're getting him involved in the passing game, which is great to see. So I think he's, as we've been talking about, obviously wheels up. But a little bit moving on, right, from the rookie running backs and how great they were. We had a couple, unfortunate, right, horrific kind of injuries. Some, I guess, maybe continuing to be potentially career ending, right, with Tyreek Hill. Like it's hard to see him playing for the Dolphins again, but maybe just in general, right, a torn, right, ACL, dislocated knee, like it looked really bad. And then you had the Nabers ACL as well. I don't know what needs to happen for them to do something about that turf or whatever the hell they got going on, but man, it's too many to be a coincidence at this point. Like I saw, I think it was a tweet from Odell, like saying, please replace the turf on MetLife Stadium. Like, I don't know. It's wild, but those, I mean, Hill a little bit less, right? But Nabers was a first round, early second round pick. That's a big loss for people. So yeah, man, I think the injuries continue to pile up. I don't know if you were affected. I didn't have any Nabers. I had a decent amount of Hill, not super critical, but yeah, how did you, how are you feeling with those injuries?
Yeah, Neighbors is a bummer. He's just fun to watch in general. I don't have him many places. I do now. I'm going out and I'm buying him on the cheap. But yeah, no, I have Neighbors in a redraft league, I think. So that kind of sucks. But I got some depth. I can kind of carry that team. And then Tyreek Hill, I have in a few spots in Dynasty best ball teams. So that kind of sucks. I think honestly, in those teams, I think I'm just gonna drop him. Like I can't burn a roster spot on him, and no one's gonna give me anything. Like I don't know. Maybe I'll try and send out getting $1 fab for him or something. But I doubt I'm gonna get it. So like he's probably gonna hit the waiver wire in those leagues that I have him, where those roster spots are just so precious, which is sad, because it, like you said, it probably is career ending for him. It didn't look good. Like you said, I think it's multiple ligaments, not just the ACL, but it'll probably be the PCL, and yeah, it's not good. But yeah, I mean, and then beyond those two guys, I had Lamar Jackson in quite a few places. So that one, it stings, but it's not too bad. Hopefully he sounds like it's going to be a few weeks. And they have a bye week in I want to say week 8, maybe or maybe week 7.
Yeah,
So
it's 7. Yeah.
yeah, I think they can compound that, and that it can roll into the third week, and he probably comes back week 8. Is kind of what I'm expecting. In the leagues where I'm kind of needing a quarterback, I have some thoughts of maybe sending him in like a first to go get like Josh Allen or something if the guy is not contending. The one league I'm considering that in is the Devi League, so it's a little depleted with those firsts. They're not as heavy, so I don't know. Maybe they go for it. I'll take a shot. Did you have any Lamar anywhere?
Yeah, I had him in one league where I actually just traded to Dynasty League. Somebody came asking about one of my quarterbacks, and I took the shot to tier up since I didn't really have any elite assets. So probably going to be starting Trevor Lawrence. Unfortunately, that's kind of was my third behind Kyler. It's great. I wonder if hamstrings are so tricky because you can't really push through them, but I wonder if they lose this next game, do they really take that approach? Because the season could be gone. You could be in a situation where you're like the Bengals last year, where you really can't afford to lose many more games, right? They are 1-3, right? They've now
Yeah.
only won one game. They've lost to two, kind of conference big opponents, and so now they're playing catch up. I mean, this next week I think is a winnable game, but it's going to be hard without Lamar, right? I think they did a good job of getting one of the better backups. I mean, I've seen a lot of Cooper Rush due to Dak's injury, so he's a very capable backup. They have good coaching, but that kind of segments me into some of these guys. I wanted to kind of check with you how you're feeling. I know we owned I think Henry in one league together. If not, but how are you kind of feeling about Derrick Henry? Like, what is he's had what 3 bad games, right? He had the one good one and like one okay because I think he scored a touchdown. But I mean, he had like less than 10 points a couple times already this season. I mean, this is I think more worrying than it was last season because if they're behind, he's not going to be seeing the field, right? So are you kind of worried about him yet, or are you just tempering expectations? How are you feeling about the King?
I don't know, man. That's hard because like I have him in a lot of spots where I'm competing, so I really want him. Like rational coaching should just be like get him involved. Like if you don't have Lamar, like you are you really going to take him off the field and put Justice Hill in there? Like that just doesn't feel like it's the right move. And I don't believe that that's actually going to happen, unfortunately. Like I'm worried. So I don't know. And on top of that too, their defense is super banged up. I mean, they lost one of their defensive linemen, I think, to a season-ending neck injury. Two other guys came out in that last game. They're probably questionable to play this week. So, yeah, like you said, like they're going to be playing from behind quite a bit here, and it's probably going to be Cooper Rush time, and yeah, and probably Justice Hill. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's a sneaky buy, sneaky ad in redraft leagues, and you could probably go get him for like a third or fourth in dynasty leagues if you're pretty desperate. Yeah, but I'm not counting on Henry. I'm not benching him yet. He's still an auto start for me pretty much anywhere. But yeah, it kind of is what it is at this point.
Oh, yeah, talking about benching, this is a guy I want to like jettison off any team I have him. AJ drowning your team from the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, they're still 4-0, but I was talking about it with a former Toe Clan member now, but who's a big fan of AJ Brown. You know who you are if you're listening, but um, about how like it was just a matter of time, even if they kept winning, if he didn't get the ball, that he'd have to do something just based on how his character is, and it finally happened. I don't know, man. Like we have a AJ Brown start sits decision. I have him in several places, including a keeper league where he's kind of actively tanking my team right now. And I think for a lot of people, right, he was a second round pick in redraft. He was probably a pillar in dynasty teams. And it doesn't look like really anything's going to change unless it's a situation where the Eagles are just forced to throw, right? Like we've seen the statistics um, from from them, like in terms of their throwing, right? Like if Hurts doesn't need to throw, they're simply just not going to do it, which is also weird because it hasn't translated to that many fantasy points for Saquon either. So the Eagles are kind of just a big kind of
Yeah,
fantasy black hole, I think.
very enigmatic for sure. You know what's crazy too is I looked this up today. For as bad as AJ Brown's been, he's top 10 in all of the NFL in target share right now. He's like number seven in target share. So it's not for a lack of opportunity here. He's doing a lot of stuff that the Eagles are feeding him the ball, and I mean that makes sense. The Eagles are a very concentrated passing attack, right? And so it makes sense that he has that high of a target share. But the fact that he's not producing on it, like his yards per route run is below 2, it's it's concerning. Like I'm starting to get to the point where like is this are we seeing the tail end of his career? Is this an overreaction? Like I mean, we just saw him have a big blow up game, 2 weeks ago. So it's hard to believe that this is the end of the career and that there's something else going on. But yeah, I mean, the Eagles in general, like how I don't understand how they're winning games without Saquon Barkley, without any like Dallas Goedert, I think is probably their leading, pass catcher on the team, um, which is just wild to think about. But I mean, he's fine. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it seems like if they're not down, if it's not like a game someone's keeping close with them or even making them lose, like that one game against the Rams where they were forced, they're not going to change the script of what they want to do. So I'm getting to the point where unless it's a matchup that I think is going to be high scoring or that the team that they're facing is good enough to make them have to throw the ball, I'm legitimately, I'm okay having the AJ Brown pop off game for 20 points on my bench if it means I'm avoiding these like sub. I mean, these are not even like okay, he got 7 points. Okay, like 9 points. These are catastrophic, like 1, 2, 3 point like type of weeks. Like
One
that is,
catch for
yeah,
7 yards.
completely like ruining your team, right? So I'm at the point where I'd rather just have the 20-point game on my bench and avoid the 2, 3, point games that are coming. Yeah, I mean, is there anybody else, like any games, any other players that you wanted to talk about? I mean, Puka had another great game. James Cook, Josh Allen popped off. We talked a little bit about Woody Marks. Here's a guy that we haven't mentioned, I think, at all on the
Can
show,
can I?
Metcalf. But if you want to go ahead,
I
whoever you want to
do.
throw in.
I need to vent because you said, are there any games that you want to? And there's one this week that just really stood out to me, and it happened to be a primetime game on Sunday Night Football. The mother Green Bay Packers and Dallas Cowboys came in there and dropped 80 points total, and no one even won. No, and they just decided to, get everybody involved. Dak, Javante, George Pickens, Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Romeo Dobbs, like all of those guys put up 30 points pretty much. I played all of them in every league. I played all of them. And all I wanted to do was them to stop scoring. And then they went to overtime. And I'm sitting there just watching the green bar slowly go over to red in all my leagues, and this game is just killing me. And I'm just the one guy I had, Tucker Craft. I had my binoculars out. I'm like, is he even on the field? Where is this guy, dude? Like, dude, so frustrating. But I mean, that game, spectacle wise, if you didn't go up against any of those players, was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. I have to say something. Can I tell you a secret you can't tell anybody?
No, it's
You,
just
you
just you and me
know,
here.
I'm a Dak hater. I don't think he's very good. Like I think he's overrated. He's very inconsistent, and he's been living off of CeeDee Lamb catching all the balls and getting him high. Dak looks kind of good this year.
I mean, if we were being honest, if his team was flip their record, right? Well, I guess you can't flip their record, but let's say they lost that one and they were 1-3, and you flipped it around into 3-1. I think he'd legitimately be the MVP conversation, right? I mean, there's Josh Allen is having a decent season. He's not doing anything crazy, but I think just compared to the fact that his passing offense and the offense, I think in general, the Cowboys is ranked one, or at least the passing game is, and their defense is ranked 32nd. If he had been able to just win a couple of these games, even that Packers game, right? If the defense
Mm.
had just been able to do something to stop them there, I think he'd legitimately be an MVP conversation. I mean, just the way the MVP works, he's not going to, because he's not going to win enough games.
Yeah.
But honestly, he's probably the most valuable player, because without Dak, I mean, the Cowboys would be a tragedy, But yeah, I mean, it's good to profess your hate, man. Like, there's been people that have made a lot of money being haters of Dak. They're on TV every single morning talking about how much Dak, his contract, this, his that. But yeah, I mean, as a Cowboy fan, it was just great to not go out there and get completely obliterated. I really was not expecting a 40-40 game. The Packers defense
Mm.
just kept letting Pickens be open, and Javante Williams kept running the ball nicely. But yeah, man, it was a fun game. A tie is, it's better than a blowout loss.
This many. Five. Five of the top 11 fantasy scores came from that game.
Yeah,
I played
yeah. I
all of
mean,
them.
I had most of them, so I didn't play against a lot of them. I mean,
Oh, so
um,
it was fun for you.
oh yeah,
Fireworks.
Jacobs. I had Jacobs everywhere. That was a great, a great time. Just traded for Pickens in a league recently, so that was fun. I don't know how much that gravy train continues, especially when CD comes back. But I mean, maybe he'll be able to be integrated into the offense now after
Yeah.
these couple games. Yeah, and so I brought up DK. Let me play the world's smallest violin for you here. But yeah, I mean, DK had a good game. It was nice to see him, doing kind of old DK things, running slants to the house. That was pretty cool. And man, Puka is it's the Matthew Stafford treatment, right? Kingmaker Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford himself had a pretty good game with that like 88-yard bomb to end the game, call like to Tutu Outwell. But Puka, man, if he scored even a couple more touchdowns, he'd be blowing everybody out of the water by points per game. But I mean, he's still leading the league in receptions, yards, like everything. It's wild what Matthew Stafford does for his wide receiver one.
Yeah, man. That his target share and like targets per route run, all the peripherals on Puka and Stafford, dude, they're like Jordan and Pippen, dude. Like for fantasy, like they just do nothing but win for you. Like Puka has put up 40-point games consistently in most of the leagues that I'm playing, and that is just that's league winning for you right there. And it's so they're a glass cannon. Like if they can just stay healthy, we're looking at like 2020 Cooper Cup status, right? But with like a higher ceiling, like truly like a higher ceiling, it feels like. And that's just crazy to think about. And if that happens, dude, like I think the Rams are probably in the Super Bowl contention at that point. Like the NFC West, like I know people want to say like the Seahawks look good, but I don't. I don't buy that they're serious contenders. Their play calling is very suspect. Like when they were playing the Cardinals on Thursday night this week, like earlier this week, they were running the ball on like 3rd and 6, and I'm just like, Darnold looks good. He just got you out of a third and long and ripping the ball to JSN, and now you're running the ball, and like it didn't make sense to me. And then they almost lost the game because they missed the field goal. And then I think Arizona came back to tie it up, and then they ended up going back down and then making the game-winning field goal. But it was just bizarre. Like they're not aggressive enough. They're playing it too close to the vest. And I really think the Rams are in contention for the Super Bowl this year as long as they stay healthy, which is wild to say. I wish my Niners could stay healthy, man.
Yeah, I mean, what was that? I saw a meme. It was like, Juwan Jennings couldn't be seen because, or Ricky Pearsall couldn't be seen in the medical tent because John Jennings was in there already. I mean,
That wasn't
I mean,
a
CMC,
meme.
yeah, no, I mean, CMC is taking this, life force vampire sucking to like too crazy of a level. I mean, he got Mac Jones injured too. Like
Dude.
this is wild. But yeah, I mean, what you were saying with Puka, I just looked it up real quick because I thought I'd seen something. Yeah, he's matched through the first 4 games in terms of receptions. That 2022 Cooper Cup #1 wide receiver overall, Triple Crown winning with 42 catches in the first 4 games, and Michael Thomas in 2018. So he's on a historic pace. The only thing with Puka is, like you say, man, he's like Waddle, where every game you're like closing your eyes, like you don't want to see because he's just trying to run Waddle's not trying to run anybody over, but he's always getting hurt, and you're like, please come back, Puka, please come back. And every
Puka
game so
left this
far,
game.
yeah, I think it's been every game he's at least been reported like that something's going on with him, right? He had that one game where he had that gash on his face. I thought he was concussed. So he just plays with a ferocity, and like I think he's still playing like he's a 5th round or 6th round pick, right? Like he seems like he's still kind of playing, or maybe just that's just how the man plays, but he seems like he's playing to prove something. But like you said, man, if they can stay healthy, it's fantasy gold. And like you said, the NFC is ripe for the picking. So,
And he's doing it without touchdowns too.
right.
That's the ceiling for Puka is just wild, man. Yeah, I think there's some other studs that we could probably talk about too. We talked about Jacobs a little bit, but Kenny G, Kenny G was a thing, man. Like I don't know, what did you think about him?
Yeah, I mean, like it's kind of one of those, what do you call, the Arthur Smith specials, right? Like it's just all of a sudden Gainwell is just him after, that Warren last minute. Hopefully you guys over here on the West Coast were up, he got ruled out. But man, he got 19 of the 29 rushing attempts, scored like over 30 points in PPR. Like Caleb Johnson even kind of had to be forced. Like I'm sure Tomlin was so pissed that Caleb Johnson had to play. But yeah, man, he looked good.
He
I
did.
think he's always been a serviceable backup. They have bye, right? This coming up week.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a little bit like, do you pick him up? Is Warren going to be back with another? Probably not. But I mean, if you were smart enough to pick him up right there, you know, you had the free agency, or he was on your bench and you tried to throw him in there, like, great on you, man. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess he's one of those. Maybe he's more of a priority handcuff. If you know, going into a weekend, you do the old like, oh, I got an out player, let me pick somebody up. Maybe he's somebody that you keep in the back of your mind because maybe he gets dropped um, after, you know, the bye weeks or something, you know, or if you have a spot, maybe you can hold him through your bye week, through his bye week, stashing him on your team just in case.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was awesome. It was good to see. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers are kind of a bit of a conundrum. Some weeks they looked great, other weeks they look horrible. But I mean, did you see the picture of they ran a tush push and Rogers is the camera's like from the back and
He's
Rogers is
just
just standing there,
standing there.
hands on his hips and watching them like put like he's not attempting to do anything. Oh man, that freaking killed me when I saw
Yeah,
that.
man, that's a good one. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is actually playable, which is crazy. But yeah, like the Kenny Gainwell thing to me is more just an indictment on Caleb Johnson. You know, like if Warren isn't out significant time, like there's no reason to roster Caleb Johnson and redraft at that point. Um, and yeah, in Dynasty, like that's it's just sad. Like, you know, like I don't know what he becomes in the future. It's very murky. Yeah, he's definitely a hold because no one's gonna be buying him for anything worthwhile. Like if I could probably get a second for him, I might just do it. You know, like that's kind of where I'm at with him. I've never been a believer, but it's not looking great. But yeah, getting out of that Pittsburgh game and out of that backfield, another fantasy stud I want to talk about is Mahomes, man. Patty Mahomes is back. He's looking good, and he doesn't even have all those weapons yet. Like Rice is coming back in 2 weeks, and that mixed with Worthy, no run game. Like I'm really excited to see what Mahomes can be, and if that Kansas City offense can be exciting again.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's slinging the ball. I think as soon as Rice comes back, it only gets better, right? We've been on the Rice train since pretty much the season. I mean, his pieces are all kind of tangentially flexible, right? Like you can flex a Hollywood Brown and maybe get the lucky touchdown or get the volume to get to like the 10 points you'd want from, you know, kind of one of those flexes. Tyquan Thornton still relevant. The backfield was interesting. Pacheco has looked better last couple weeks, but he's still running behind Hunt. He looked a
Hmm.
little bit more effective. So I don't know if Pacheco is maybe, you know, on the way back. Maybe if you can trade for him maybe just on the cheap. Like if the offense is working and we believe in Mahomes, I think Pacheco would be the goal line guy. And if he's looking a little bit better, maybe he's just getting healthier. You know, maybe he's somebody that people are really down on. You could just, you know, one of your backup wide receivers, maybe if you're light on running backs, I wouldn't mind throwing like one of my backup um wide receivers and trading him for a Pacheco just to see. I mean, if it's like your fourth wide receiver, that guy's probably never playing anyways. Might as well maybe you get a starting running back because we know they like Pacheco. I mean, Reed isn't married to anybody and he's going to play whoever gives them the best chance. But we know they like him, right? I mean, we saw the usage when he was
Yeah.
healthy. So maybe it's just a question of he's getting a little bit healthier. I think he's looked a little bit more impressive. His yards per carry have come up. Um, and we'll just see. I mean, Kareem Hunt's like 30 something years old. So, I mean, if a healthy Pacheco should realistically be able to take his job back, but it's definitely wait and see there. But it's nice, man. It's good when Mahomes is good for fantasy. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that hate him, but he's fun to have and own
Yeah.
on a team. And he's just fun to watch do his thing and be good for fantasy.
Yeah, Pacheco in Dynasty is a sell for me. Like, is if he can get a big game here, like I'm trying to get him off my roster. I don't know what I'm looking for. Like, I think a second would be enough to get it done at this point. And the guy I really want is Brashard Smith. I think his role is going to grow as the season goes on. You know, Kareem Hunt will get worn down. It happens every season. He looks good, and then you know you get like 8 games in, and he just looks tired, and he doesn't have it anymore. And that's when they start getting someone else involved. So maybe it's Pacheco, but to me, Pacheco is just kind of you know a RB1B with contingent upside, injury contingency. at this point. So I'm hoping I can sell him for something and get him off my squads because I have him in a couple places, but it's not looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my trade for thought for him is just for redraft, right? Like
For sure. Yeah,
everybody's
for sure.
desperately looking for running backs, but yeah, I'm happily taking a second for Pacheco. I don't think
Yeah.
he's got much run maybe after this season, so I'd happily take pretty much any second if you could squeeze a second and a third, or send do one of those. I give you my second and you give me a first. I'll give you Pacheco in a second for a first. Maybe do a deal like that in
I
Dynasty.
like
But
that.
yeah, I'm definitely on the selling in Dynasty. If he could just get a couple touchdown game, it would be
Mm-hmm.
perfect. Go to a contender if you're not one and just sell him off.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I'm at with it. Well, we're coming up here on 30 minutes. I don't know if you had too many more things that you wanted to talk about, but I just wanted to bring up Bucky Irving. He's getting that precautionary MRI. It looks like he's going to be out for week 5 right now, or they're saying it's at least questionable. Yeah,
Yeah, I
not
mean,
good.
we heard what those precautionary MRIs did to Jaden Daniels, who now hasn't played for a couple weeks. I mean, nobody goes to get an MRI for fun. You're not
No.
going because you're super healthy. So I think that sucks. Bucky Irving, he's been somebody I've been banging the drum for. I think he's had a great season. He continues to just catch a ton of passes. And I think that hurts Baker. It hurts the whole offense. It hurts like Puka. Now they'll be done. If they're out without Bucky, they're out without Mike Evans. I think that just hurts the whole offense. It makes it harder for Buka. It makes it harder for
Mm.
Baker. There was one more thing I wanted to see if we've been talking a little bit about a trade here. If it could work, we could get this done
Oh yeah. Okay.
in real time here. So we were talking about Chuba for Keenan, and I just threw in
In a
there just
redraft
'cause,
league, or I guess is that
yeah,
keeper? That's keeper
it's
league.
a
Yeah.
keeper technically. Yeah, I just sent it over to you. Let me know if that's good for you.
I do like the trade. I am hurting this week. I have 3 players on bye this week. I
Oh
don't I
no.
don't know what I'm gonna do. Chuba would mean a lot for me just because the players I have on bye are Jalen Warren, and then who else? I have another running back who's on bye. So I would be filling in Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt with who do I have alongside of him? Is it Saquon? Do
You
you have it
got
open?
Harvey in there.
Harvey. Is that who I?
Harvey, Henry.
Yeah. So it'd
Yeah.
be
Okay. Well,
Henry. I don't know.
you're
Like
gonna do this to me again, Jmac, and leave me waiting last week because you
last
made
week
bad roster management decisions.
I have a PSA for all of our listeners out there. Double check in your leagues if you can drop players after they've started, because if you can't, you can get yourself into real trouble. I put Torrey Horton and Greg Holani, the
A guy I had
Seahawks.
never even heard of, by the way. I was like, why is this guy on your team? What is happening?
The Seahawks, the Seahawks were playing Thursday night, and in my IR spot, I had like Jaden Daniels and Evan Ingram, who were out at one point, but then came back to being healthy, and I couldn't move those guys off my roster to set a legal lineup because they locked on Thursday night. So I couldn't drop Horton. I couldn't drop Holani. You wanted to make a trade, but he was in my starting lineup. So if I would have traded you
Chuba.
Chuba, I
Yeah.
wanted to say Chuba. If I traded you Chuba, I wouldn't have had a running back to start. It wouldn't have mattered. I stomped him
No,
anyway,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
you
poor
won by like
management.
40 with a 0, and then you could have even traded me. Chuba took in another 0 and still
I
won
probably
by
could
30,
have.
30 points. Like well past, but yeah. But no, man, I don't have anything else. It's just a little tidbit for you guys. But yeah, man, I mean these are great. I really like kind of wrapping our heads around what just happened, getting something out to the people, getting our thoughts to them. But yeah, man, it's always fun.
Yeah, for sure it was, man. This is a good, fun debrief, very off the script, which makes it even more enjoyable. Hopefully you guys are liking it. If you guys are in the Fantasy Footballers Discord, Jose and I are going to be jumping in on the Foot Clan for Foot Clan tomorrow night, or maybe even tonight, Wednesday night, if you're at 6 p.m. And we're going to be doing some redraft roster reviews and trade reviews. So if you are around, check that out. Come stop by, say hi. We're going to be hanging out with Mando. But yeah, that's all we got for you guys. Yeah, Jose, you want to sign us off here, man?
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like, do the whole thing. And we'll catch you around, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy week 5, and we'll see you on the flip side. Peace.